Hello everyone, this is Roxanne Grinage. I'm doing this quick video on March 8th, 2010 with a great deal of gratitude. I'm thinking about calling it CPS Corruption in Government, Protect Their Parents, Flee, Appointed Guardians, Underground Railroad Needs a Little More Work. Fern Brown Caplan, Judge Robert J. Matthews, Big House Overseer, and Timothy E. Possenti, Runaway Slaves, Caught in 6 days. But of course, that's not going to fit into any of the fields. So it's going to be something like that. The most important thing, I just want to get up, one, my gratitude, two, that the U.S. Marshals were deployed, and the reason I'm grateful for that is because our Philadelphia Sheriff's Office is filled with a lot of good people, but Judge Robert J. Matthews is the head of the snake here for corruption and abuses many Philadelphia families, as we documented. We have 20 of them, where he's locking up mothers and protected grandmothers and so on, and inflicting a great amount of abuse on them. So our head of the Warrant unit is a Sergeant Muse, who happens to be one of my corruption defendants in my federal case 209 CV 04119 MSG, and the dispute that I'm having with Judge Robert J. Matthews, trying to invoke my Commonwealth of Constitution of Pennsylvania rights and my U.S. constitutional rights to protect my family from his greed-mongering kidnap for profit corruption scheme that he has going on for the cover-up of crimes of Fern Brown Caplan and Ambrose kidnap for profit scheme. And Timothy E. Possenti, who's just a private attorney that extorts money out of people, and his family, he just seems to function as an organized crime person. That's the data that we have on him. He's extremely organized with his crime. So anyway, I'm grateful. They arrested me yesterday. I found out after the U.S. Marshal arrested me that they found my daughter and arrested her, the children's mother, who was trying to protect the children. They enforced Judge Matthews' tyrannical child abusing order and returned my grandchildren to their abusers, the people that are beating them, Sandra O'Sullivan, and sometimes drunken father Eric L. Brown, and Sandra O'Sullivan's son, 13-year-old son, and her grown daughter, they call her Laquita, but her full name, when she said it in front of Fern Brown Caplan, was Aloysius, Bubblicious, Laquita-licious, or something like that. Anyway, I just want to give big ups to the professionalism of the U.S. Marshals, and to they were extremely professional. We understand you have to do your job, and we believe in you being deployed. We were actually protected from something that could have went very awry here in this corrupt city that we're living in. The people of the city are not corrupt. It's the certain bad apples that are so greedy coming out of Delaware and Bucks County, Montgomery County, feeding on the middle class and working poor here in Philadelphia. One of my clients, Deborah Young, had an oral argument, was scheduled to have an oral argument today, and I just found out as I got out that she wasn't admitted into the oral argument to argue for the schedule in front of PA Superior Court Justices Stevens, Manden, and Kelly. We're going to contact the Pennsylvania Rules Committee about the public's ability let me say this. I had an opportunity going before tyrannical child abusing Judge Robert J. Matthews. I did tell him, as sick as I was, I found out I'm diabetic last night in the jail nurse's station, and that's why I've been feeling really bad. I thought it was just my hypertension, but I've become diabetic. Anyway, with a night of no food and very little water, I was very sick. And of course, tyrannical Judge Matthews didn't care about that. But I was able to let him know that the citizen families of Philadelphia, there are 20, gave him a grand jury indictment, and we're going to do all we can to get him disbarred, recused, removed, impeached, and so on, while him and his idiot favorite, Eric L. Brown, and him, of course, he He never guards judicial decorum. He actually laughed and chuckled as well. He runs circus courts. He calls Eric L. Brown on his cell phone, and so on. So, anyway, I did get an opportunity to say that. He told me if I didn't stop letting him know that he's the head of the snake, and the people of Philadelphia are simply sick and tired of him destroying our children and destroying our families, and then taking the wealth and the money back to the surrounding areas of the rich and the wealthy, and protecting his criminal cohorts, Fern Brown Caplan and Esquire and Timothy E. Possenti, who are feeding in vampire-like fashion on the children of Philadelphia, selling them to Anne-Marie Ambrose in the kidnap for profit scheme here through the DHS contractors. And there's even one kidnap where Fern Brown Caplan set it up, an illegal adoption, a fast-track adoption of a wanted child to a sheriff's office executive employee. Anyway, it just did my heart good to be able to just let him know I was so sick I could care less whatever he did. It just had to be done. I'm sick of my grandchildren being destroyed. I'm sick. I am in a position with the standard access mechanism. I see so many cases. I see so much data. And the help that we thought was on the way was obviously not on the way. The U.S. Department of Justice was downloading my filings with the court to enforce Judge Matthews' criminal will against the citizen Philadelphia family. So I took pictures of my slave bracelet, runaway slave captured, and you can see on my band, it's a bright orange band. It's my slave bracelet, my shackles. When Judge Mazzer, John, what's his name? Robert J. Matthews, Mazzer caught me. They put a slave band on me. They allowed me to keep my name this long, Roxanne Grinage, 306. I think that was the cell I was assigned to. And the words Fed Hold, meaning federal hold, bring before Judge Robert J. Matthews. Alright. I honestly hope his grandkids don't have anything, or his great-grandkids don't get anything. I honestly hope that liens get placed on his estate, and his children know the pain and suffering that my grandchildren know of being beat on, and no one can help them. My husband was talking to the US Marshals as they were walking my grandson Ezekiel by, and he looked up at his grandpop and said, "Pop-Up, I don't want to go with my dad." He was so sad. He begged us not to ever go back there. And it's broken heart. We all have broken-hearted situations, but I was able to let Judge Matthews know that I don't have to have your permission or validation to protect my family, that my vested interest in my family and my constitutional right to make filings about my family in a court that's supposed to be here for redress and citizenship is more valid than your claim is to protecting my family, okay? He tried to play this game about, are you an attorney? How can you be typing documents and filing them in this court? Well, guess what? Judge Matthews and the corrupt judges of the Court of Common Pleas, guess what? You've become so commercialized you forgot what the courts are there for. The courts are there for the redress of citizens. It doesn't say for the redress of people who went to law school and have licensed bar association attorneyships. It doesn't say that. It says for redress. We may petition our courts. We have a Commonwealth and Constitution, Pennsylvania, and a U.S. Constitution, and y'all should read the oath sometime and the canon laws of judicial conduct. All right, I'm very sick. I have to go find out how to take care of diabetes. I understand it's a fatal disease. All right, take care, everyone. I love you all. Take care. Bye.